Hello, hello everybody for the wisdom of Lemuria. Such an exciting time and so interesting that people have started to become so connected to the wisdom that they had then and to want to discover more and realize who they are. And Freya, hello, first as ever Freya, lovely to see you, and Priceless Jewel. No, I wonder where do you come from, Freya? Is it, well, Scandinavia, but be interesting to know. Natasha and Miriam and Alicia, hi everybody. Really ready to talk about the wisdom of Lemuria. Of course, we did healing from Lemuria a few weeks ago in a Zoom. But this is about the wisdom of Lemuria, which is just awesome and amazing, and really time that we tuned in and connected to it. So, hope a few more people will join us. Otherwise, I will start with some of the questions that I've had, but I know it's not a good idea to start too instantly. So, I've just been on holiday and had a fabulous, fabulous time. I went to Dorset and I took my two dogs and we were by the sea, and it was just lovely. Couldn't imagine a better holiday. And hi Alicia. I said hello already. Oh, my mind. I'm obviously just a bit foggy after all that lovely holiday and lying around relaxing. So, while we wait, I would just put up the Metatron Cube. For some reason, that just feels really appropriate now. I'll make sure the whole of it is in the picture and see what impact it's having on you energetically as you look at it. It is absolutely awesome. And as soon as you hold it up, then the amazing Archangel Metatron just pours his light through it to you. Oh, I love the Metatron Cube. Oh, and I've missed saying hello to a few people. Satu. Oh, Freya from Sweden. I thought you came from Sweden. I don't know why I wasn't certain. Hanneke, Elka, Georgiana, Annabelle, Judy, hello. Helen and Patty and Sheila and Alison and Marianne. Good evening back to you, Marianne. Oh, and Vicky, good Easter week. Yes, it is indeed. It's Easter. Oh, in 2 days. Wow, Friday. And Jane, oh, you look forward to these sessions. Good, thank you. And Pamela, welcome. Alex and Natasha and Alejandra and Ursula, Georgiana. Oh, I think it's time. Oh, Jody, you're just home from having unexpected open heart surgery. You felt your dragon standing at the top of your head. Well, lots of love and good wishes from everybody here. Marian, can Lemurian crystals be different colors apart from clear quartz? Yes, you can have golden ones and you can have pink ones, though they are relatively rare. And so if you've got one, hang on to it. You can still tell it's a Lemurian crystal. I held Lemurian crystals up during the Zoom here on this one. You can see that all the facets have these recording lines down them. So it's beautiful. Okay, so I had a question which wasn't fully about Lemuria, but actually slightly about Lemuria, which is, please could you pass me on the names of the chakras on Earth and where they are? And actually this is from Elvira, and some of the chakras, the places you've mentioned, aren't in accordance with what I was given by my guide. So I'll tell you where I was given. the Earth Star Chakra in London. Now, it's so interesting that in 2012, the Olympic Games were in London. And my guide Kimika said to me, they were always going to be in London. Everybody on Earth went into such a fuss about it, and that was always going to be there because London is the Earth Star Chakra of the planet, and that was the start of the ascension process for the planet. So it was always going to be there. And some of these things that we make great fuss about on Earth, like Brexit, all decided at a higher level. And I guess our task is to tune in for what is for the highest good. So the Earth Star Chakra in London, the base chakra in China, and that's a very powerful space there. The sacral chakra is Honolulu, and the navel chakra in Fiji. Now the solar plexus is the entire area of South Africa. So it's absolutely vast. And of course, very important because Earth is the solar plexus chakra of this universe. And so as soon as we get our solar plexuses into right order, Africa will flourish. And somebody else has asked about the golden ages. So I will mention about the golden age of Africa. It's time for that energy to come back. And the heart chakra of the planet is in Glastonbury, which is where Jesus came after his crucifixion. And so he ignited the energy on the tour to connect it again to the cosmic heart, to connect Glastonbury back to the cosmic heart. Fascinating, isn't it? The throat chakra is in Luxor in Egypt. The third eye chakra of the planet is Afghanistan. Now, I know I've probably said this several times on recent Facebook Lives, but as soon as enough people get their third eye chakra balanced and in harmony again, then Afghanistan will be at peace. And apparently it's one of the last places to come into peace. And so every single one of us can help by working with our third eye chakra to bring it back into harmony and enlightenment again. And the crown chakra is Machu Picchu. I don't know if you've been there, but if you have, you can't miss the energy. And of course, it just makes such a difference because when you're in a place, either where the archangel has their retreat or where an archangel has their retreat, that's the place on the planet where you can really connect them. If you go to a place on the planet physically where it's the Earth Star Chakra in London or wherever it is impacting on your chakra and you are impacting your energy on it. Now, I know we can do this from a distance, but just imagine the power of being there. So I got to the crown chakra, which is Machu Picchu. Then the causal chakra is Tibet. Now, Tibet in the Himalayas, in that pure white energy, just like the causal chakra. Sorry, trying to get this straight, and I can't do it in the mirror image. I'm useless, aren't I? Never mind, it'll fall by itself. And so Tibet is the causal chakra of the planet, and the soul star of the planet is Agra, where Lord Kuthumi built, who was then the Shah Jahan in another incarnation, built the Taj Mahal, which is a dedication to love. Most amazing place. And the stellar gateway of the planet is the Arctic, and that is having a massive impact on everybody. So that's the answer to your question, Elvira. It is, the information is in lots of my books. And so, while we're on that subject, there's a question from Martina, who would like to hear about the other golden ages. So this is the background, really, to Lemuria and the wisdom of Lemuria. Now, the first golden age on the planet was Angala. Now, that was the birth of Earth. Now, for that to happen, Source sent out the thought, the vision of Earth. And that energy was then surrounded by angels singing it into physicalization, into manifestation. This wonderful, amazing place called Earth. And that birthed the planet. Now, an Angala moment is a birthing moment. This is why it's golden. And that birthing moment can be accessed at any time if you want to birth a project or an idea, because that original energy with the angels singing it in is available to anybody. So that is the Angala energy, the first golden age on Earth. This was followed by the age of Petranium. And Petranium was the golden age of Africa. And that was at that time, Africa was green and verdant. It was lush and beautiful. And the beings there were seventh dimensional. Now, they were not physical because they were seventh dimensional, the vibration of the angels. But they walked, for want of a better word, on Africa at that time, held the energy, and they could use their minds to go in and take the minerals that were needed and place them where they were needed. Everything was done for the highest good. Now, the thing is that when the energy started to go down and some of those beings came into physicalization, and the food they ate and the climate decided that they would have dark skins, some remained etheric, seventh dimensional, and they still are in Africa. They are holding the energy of the golden age of Africa, Petranium, and they are touching people and trying to persuade them to work with the land as they used to. When they could control the weather, they could do anything they wanted to keep the land amazing and beautiful. And that energy will return. The more we visualize it, the more we pray for it, the more quickly it will happen. And then Africa will be an awesome place to be, a place of great abundance, in contrast to what's happening there now. And then after after Petranium came Mu. This was in the Pacific Ocean, or where the Pacific is now, in the Pacific Basin. And the beings were fourth dimensional. And they loved the land, but not as much as the Lemurians that came after. So the beings of Mu were healers. And they created a great flame of Mary Michael blue aquamarine energy. Whenever I just talk about it, I just see in my mind's eye this wonderful blue and aquamarine flame. And that energy is held in hollow earth, and also the flame is held by the people of Mu in the 4 ascension planets that are all working together, which is the Pleiades, Sirius, Orion, and Neptune. And so their wisdom is contained therein. And if you think about a pelican, because Mu was the time of the dinosaurs, a pelican still holds the energies of Mu and holds it for the planet, reminding us that the planet has been going on for millions and millions and millions of years. And there's all this ancient energy and wisdom there. And after Mu came Lemuria. We're going to be talking about Lemuria tonight. These were 5th dimensional etheric beings and a vast healing force. We tend to think of them as individuals. In actual fact, they were one vast healing energy and were not fully individuated. So I'll talk about them later. They were also in the Pacific. And then, of course, there was the golden age of Atlantis, when the frequency was the highest it's ever been, and beings managed, for 1,500 years, humans managed to maintain a physical body, have awesome technology, maintain their connection to source, and live truly divine lives. That was an awesome time. And in the 10,000 years since Atlantis fell, they've been learning the lessons of Atlantis. It ended in 2012. That was when the final loose ends were tied up. And we now are heading for a new golden age to start, which will be the golden age of Aquarius. So I hope that answers most of your question, Martina. There's lots of little questions, and some of those places are now under the oceans, and life was in fact etheric, so not physical, until Atlantis. And so they all lasted for different lengths of time. So I hope that's... Oh, can I say something about Notre Dame? Now that's an interesting one, isn't it? Wow. It's a tragedy. It's a huge loss. It's very interesting. Something had to happen because, of course, there's been so much abuse that Notre Dame is the heart of the Roman Catholic Church. It keeps saying on television. This is what people think of. And of course, all that abuse had to be transmuted somehow. It's been going on for hundreds of years. And so fire is the great transmuter. And when that spire fell, it was a pivotal moment when a huge, huge, huge amount of the old abuse or energy was transmuted on the planet. Now, it's also interesting that Notre Dame has been crumbling for a long time, and there have been a lot of appeals for people to give money. Nobody was prepared to give money. But now the energy has shifted totally. It's an opportunity for something magical and amazing to happen. People are giving money. People are realizing how they love this ancient, true energy. And so out of this, I believe something really, really good is going to happen. Okay, Tiziana. You've got a couple of Lemurian crystals, but they're smaller than mine. Well, here's another one of mine, which is very, very powerful, which I absolutely adore. I often carry it around with me. We use this one when we did the Lemurian Zoom, the healing Zoom. And so it's not the size of the crystal that's important. It's the energy and the clarity of light within it. Oh, so there are a few more people to say hello to. Daniela from Germany and Kim from South Africa and Christopher. Hello, good evening to you. Adele from Derry. Jenny, hello. Johanna, Barbie, Johnny. Yay, Lemuria, you say. Okay, here's another question from Rima. Oh, sorry, just before that. It's always difficult. I'm trying to look at my sheet of paper where I've printed out questions and other ones are coming up. Asked about Lemurian crystal broken pieces a couple of weeks ago. What am I going to do with the broken pieces? Bury them somewhere and let the Lemurians work with them. Somebody else asked about the spiritual reason for the burning down of Notre Dame, and I think I just answered that. It was a massive transmutation. I can't, they're going too quickly. Okay, let's just answer this one from Rima. Is Australia geographically where Lemuria used to be? And if so, are all Aborigines direct descendants of Lemurians on a soul level? And are some of us Australians born or living on this land also somehow connected to Lemuria? Okay, originally, Lemuria covered Australia and New Zealand, Hawaii, the Polynesian Islands, part of Alaska, and some parts of Morocco and Guinea. Other countries in that northern part of Africa were fully Lemurian. Like, I've got this written down, Mauritania, Algeria, Mali, and Senegal. So those countries were fully Lemurian. Michelle, where do we get the information from? The source of reference is my guide Kumika in the main. And so you either have to trust it, that it resonates inside you. And if it doesn't resonate, just don't accept it. Okay. So at the end of Lemuria, the beings who were this great healing force in the entire universe wanted to experience more than spirit. They wanted to experience physical body, the ability to love somebody, the ability to touch a leaf, feel water running, to taste, to smell, to do all the things that you cannot do when you are pure spirit. This is why a physical life is so valued. And the Lemurians sent a plea, a request to Source, asking for permission to take a physical body. And this permission was granted on the understanding, this is all in Discover Atlantis, on the understanding that they had emotions and sexuality and were able to work with those, because it was thought that that would ground them and help them. And they split in two. So the masculine and feminine, the Lemurians were totally androgynous. They were without sexuality. They reproduced by conscious decision and energy transference. And so each being divided in two. Now that was where the quest started for people's other half, because they had always been complete in themselves. Now they were looking for something. And so the Lemurians started to come to Earth. Now, some of them came into Atlantis, and that's one story. but the Lemurian energy was grounded into the Aborigines. They incarnated in the places I've talked about, but especially into Australia. And they carried the Lemurian energy, that love of the earth, that understanding, that ability to telepathically communicate with the animals. Now, the kangaroos came in with the Aborigines, and they had this very symbiotic relationship, a very, very close relationship. They worked together. And the snakes, various other reptiles came in at the same time to help bring the energy up from hollow earth that would help them. So the Aborigines hold the energy of Lemuria. Now, the other part of your question, if you are Australian, are you Lemurian? The answer is not necessarily. You may well be. If you love the earth, if you really want to help the planet, if you feel a connection with the trees and the animals, then you almost certainly are Lemurian, have been in Lemuria. And don't forget, it was like Atlantis, a hugely long age. So many, many people now have been Lemurian. And so you're very likely to be connected. And here's another question. How does one know for sure if they were alive during Lemuria? I have a strong feeling that I was alive at that time, and several lifetimes in Golden Atlantis too. Well, alive is a very interesting word to use when you were an etheric being. But were you Lemurian, part of that vast healing force? If you have a lot of compassion, a desire to heal, and this love of the earth, then you were almost certainly Lemurian. And that's how to tell if you're Lemurian. If you really love the earth, if you have green fingers, if you want to connect to trees, they are. Oh yes, Tiziana says, under Notre Dame there was an Isis temple. Paris was named after Isis. Of course it was, Isis. Thank you for reminding me of that. I had completely forgotten. That is just so interesting. Which just shows everything is happening in divine right order. Okay. Here's a question from Christian. I got super attracted to a Lemurian quartz at a market in Cape Town and love to know how I might use the crystal in the best way. Well, we did a whole healing Zoom on Lemurian crystals. And so you can look it up. It's still available. It's only a £5.50 Zoom. And it was very, very powerful. And you can still connect to the energy of all the healing that we did by connecting to it. And we used, I don't know if it was this or a different crystal completely, but we used a central crystal to connect everybody together, which made it so powerful. Yeah, Hanukkah says, I've got a Lemurian seed crystal I use as my special healing crystal. It's very powerful healing. It's wonderful healing. It's healing without ego. You always heal with somebody else for Lemurian healing. Lynn, you missed the Lemurian healing. Can you see it in replay? You can still get hold of it. Yeah, it'll be on my website. Okay, right. You like to know how to use the crystal. Tells you how to use it in Keys to the Universe, or I would suggest that you tune into that or get hold of that Crystal Healing Zoom, because it was very, very powerful, and it teaches you basically how to use your crystal for healing with others. Is it right that we can recognize people from Lemuria with whiter skin and greenish eyes? would love to know what their role is in this planet from Christian. Okay, now my god Kimiko said that a lot of Lemurians that we see are, or we perceive them as, tall, blonde with blue eyes. When I was in Mount Shasta the first time, so this was a long time ago, this is Mount Shasta in California, the retreat of Archangel Gabriel, there were people there that talked to me about how their grandparents had seen, sorry, I'm just giving the dog a treat, that's Sugar. They want Venus without anyone noticing, you know, Sugar's asking for one. Their grandparents talked about these very tall, thin, very shy people that they would see occasionally that would then disappear, and they wouldn't really talk to them or connect to them, but they were there with this wonderful energy. And Mount Shasta is connected to the Pleiades. The Pleiades is the healing plane of this universe. And so that's why I think there are quite a few in that area at that time. But then, of course, as the area became more populated, the energy went down. Those beings just disappeared from our sight because they are etheric. So I've never heard this about green eyes and pale skin. It may be right. If it resonates with you, then you accept that for yourself. The role on their planet is to hold the love energy for nature and for Earth. And so any Lemurian being is going to do that. Okay, how about, I'll just read this next question because it's a kind of Lemurian question. And it was about the elemental kingdom that we did on one Facebook Live. So as you suggested, I thanked the oak tree that was in decline for its wisdom, told him how sorry it was, it felt neglected and that it was needed. And I'm happy to say it was the first one to sprout its green leaves this spring compared to all the neighbouring oaks. I was really happy. I show gratitude to it and every tree I see now. So that's the Lemurian energy. So how about if we just close our eyes? And the Lemurians were about oneness. So ground your feet into the beautiful earth. Earth that is humming and vibrating with love. Knowing that Lady Gaia, the great angel in charge of Earth, is sending love through you right now. And then be aware of a tree. Maybe a tree in your garden or your street or your park or somewhere where you walk. And now just feel the energy of that tree. Tune into it. How does that tree feel? That tree may feel neglected. It may feel overburdened by so many others that are doing the same job as it at chop down, and it has to step up and do the job of many trees. Or it may be feeling appreciated and happy and light. How is that tree feeling? Open your heart and connect your heart to the energy, the heart energy, the wisdom within that tree. Now, trees hold great knowledge and wisdom. They are healers. They are empathetic. Ask that tree for something. Maybe healing, maybe information, maybe for an energy. Ask it and open yourself up to receive. And then open your heart again, even more, and surround that tree. Literally surround it, then fill it with love and appreciation. And then just detach from the energy of the tree and look at that tree with new eyes, new understanding. And then open your eyes. And so I would love any of you to share how you felt when you connected to that tree. Remember, this is how the Lemurians were. They were totally in tune and empathetic with the trees, with the rocks, with the elemental energy inside the stones, with all the animals, with everything. The beings of Mu, the civilization before, they particularly loved the mountains and the song of the mountains. They could hear the vibration, the song that the mountains were singing. Right? And then you're connected to the trees and flower kingdom. How can you remember your gifts and abilities in Lemuria as a priest and priestess? By literally doing the things that the Lemurians do. Now, Vicky, you'd say you were in Lemuria. No, and Tita, you love hugging trees and being hugged by them. It's all Lemurian energy. And remember once walking through the woods, and I've probably told this story before, but this fairy came up to me. I was with a friend, and this fairy came up to me and said, I need to ask you something. And I've got a message for your friend. Anyway, I didn't know this person that well, so I just asked her if she'd minded if I waited a minute and spoke to this fairy. And she asked me to bring the violet flame down through the tree. And that friend particularly needed that energy at that time. So I did. I brought the violet flame down through the tree, down through the roots, and I could see it connecting all the trees in that wood as they ran through the roots and connected to the roots of the next tree. And it did a huge job of transmutation there. And ever since then, I've brought the Mahatma energy or the Christ light. It only takes a moment when you're out walking somewhere, and it really makes a difference to the energy of the trees. And Tiziana, you were a priestess in Lemuria and Atlantis. Yeah, all coming back now. Oh, Vicky, the Lemuria Zoom was fantastic. And since you've purchased 2 beautiful crystals, fabulous. Use them. Oh, Maggie, you loved that Zoom. Ah, Barbie, you bought the Zoom. Elizabeth, message of love from Canada. Lovely. I shall be in Canada in about 10 days' time doing a retreat in Archangel Michael's vortex, where his energy is the strongest on the planet. Whoa! So we'll be doing energetic work with Michael there. That will be amazing. Anything Lemurian here? No. Okay. Okay, just another thing, of course, which is that the dragons carry that Lemurian energy that we're talking about, that incredible wisdom and oneness. Now, the great wisdom of Lemuria is the absolute knowing that we are all one, and that bringing together of everybody in an energetic, spiritual sense. Now, think of a swallow. Swallows are Lemurian. They are reminding us of the wisdom of Lemuria. So you see a group of swallows, they are one energy. They move as one. And the reason they do it is because as a group soul, they are encoded with the vision of where they're going and what they're doing. So they all receive the message to turn at the same moment, and they and that's how they do it. So just as you're encoded to walk and talk as a human being, they are encoded with the vision of what they must do and where they go. So they all migrate, and they turn together, and they all send healing light down into the ley lines as they fly over them, just as the beings of Lemuria did. Oh, thank you, Alex. We'd love a channeled reading. Now, I'm sorry, I don't do those, but there are lots of amazing channels around. Okay. So the dragons, who are fourth dimensional, they carry the wisdom and that incredible heart-centered love of Lemuria. And the wisdom of Lemuria is held in Neptune and its ascended aspect Tutele. So whenever I say the ascended aspect of a planet, the vibration of it comes into you. I'm wondering if we've just got time to connect. Say a little brief something about the cosmic portal of Lemuria, which carries the Christ light, and that's near Hawaii, and that's where the great crystal of Lemuria is. I tell you what, why don't we just, Jane says, trees said they have a consciousness, afterwards it was happy. Yeah, it makes such a difference. Of course trees have a consciousness. Francis, your tree was sad because it's been cut back recently. And you can cut a tree back, asking it to withdraw its energy so it doesn't feel it happening. And that makes it strong. And your tree, the tree felt tall and strong from Leanne. Sana, you felt strong, free, and you felt peace. Willow, the tree's been waiting for your return. I was there 52 years ago. I'm now moving there, and I can't read the bottom part of what you've said. But I've had lots of healings from trees in my life. Oh, yours is by the Atlantic Ocean. You were deeply blessed by your tree. It's a conifer. You does such valuable work in your garden, Jennifer. Yeah. And every single time you connect with a tree, you can receive a message. They will give you lots of healing. Extraordinary when your heart and that tree are connected, just as any animal will give you healing. So what I'm going to suggest now is that perhaps we just connect into our Earth Star chakra, make that connection up to Neptune and its ascended aspect Tutele, where the wisdom of Lemuria is stored. And it's a beautiful, very soft, pale yellow energy. Bring that light down into your Earth Star chakra so that it starts to open up your Lemurian wisdom that you contain, and maybe even have time to connect to the great crystal of Lemuria. So just close your eyes if you wish to, and focus on your Earth Star chakra. Beautiful, shimmering silver chakra below your feet, and you may feel your feet tingling as you do this. Archangels sandal them with you, and your intention is to connect your Earth Star to the cosmic Earth Star Neptune and its ascended aspect Tutele. Oh gosh, the dragons have come forward. Right. As you send a light out from your Earth Star, and my feet are really tingling now, from your Earth Star right up to Neptune, and through Neptune to its ascended aspect Tutele, the dragons are protecting this link and helping it to go stronger. They are even pouring energy from their hearts into the link so that you connect into Tutele. And a stream of golden white energy, soft yellow, golden white, is coming all the way down through the universe. From there, down into your Earth Star chakra below your feet. It's flooding through your Earth Star chakra, expanding it, and even going beyond your Earth Star into the earth, the ground around you. Now, it's like it's time now for people who are ready to bring in the energy. And of course, the other beings that hold the wisdom of Lemuria and Atlantis are the dolphins. Now, I've got a dolphin coming in now, just touching your Earth Star. Whoa! Oh my goodness. And Mother Mary, who was Ma-Ra in Lemuria. Interesting. Then Isis, and we've been talking about the Isis temple under Notre Dame. Mother Mary is also touching you at this moment, bringing in huge amounts of love and wisdom from Lemuria. It's about opening your heart and knowing every single person, animal, tree is one. Just feel your feet and what's happening below your feet to your Earth Star chakra. And ask that this link continues to feed your Earth Star chakra so that everywhere you go, you leave beautiful golden footsteps on the planet, healing, touching, and bringing wisdom to anyone who walks after you. Okay. And then just allow the energy to keep flowing and open your eyes. Oh, but really nice. If you share what you experience, breathe and leaving our support. The beautiful trees strong, full of golden rich leaves. Machu, Georgiana, Tiziana, your trees and oak. Now, Patty, that will be very interesting. Do let us know. She says, I connected with my very old white birch tree. She felt very heavy, so I gave her healing energy. I'll keep an eye on her to see how she does this year. Roy and Sharon, I've always been a tree and stone communicator. Lemurian influence, almost certainly, yeah. Catherine, just about the dryads in the trees. Yes, mostly it's the elves that are in the trees. Okay. So Caroline, connected with the tree closest to a house in the garden, can see it had been abused by the previous neighbours who cut it with a chainsaw. So Lycan connected, a hot stream of energy ran down the left side of my neck. Wow, so you're taking that energy. I've heard trees screaming, and I've also heard them just being so grateful as they take in our love. This is all Lemurian wisdom and energy. So it's lovely that we're connecting. And I tell you, my feet, and if anybody else is the same, but my feet are just buzzing, and I feel that under my feet there's this wonderful light, and I feel that they are literally working on it. When you had a beach by a source with the name of Maria Magdalena, love this tree and this wood. Isn't that lovely that you even have a name vibration for the tree? We are going to be running out of time, which is really, really sad because there's so much more to talk about. Oh, Marion, during this seminar you've been watching a group of swallows arriving home, then you said they were Lemuria. Yes, the migrating birds are Lemurian because they all work together. They're going so fast I can't actually read them. You feel the trees' energy, that's lovely. Oh, really, Joe, your Mother Mary came up in your cards yesterday. Yeah, because she was Mara in Lemuria, then she came in as Isis in Atlantis and Egypt, and then Mother Mary when she gave birth to the Christ. Anyway, I just feel that there's been a lovely energy, as there always is when we talk about Lemuria. And and incidentally, it was Bruce Lee came into Mu to help it move into its ascension. So not Lemuria. Next Wednesday, I'm doing a Zoom. And this is a £5.50 Zoom. And actually, it's really, really exciting because it's about the Archangel gems. And these are etheric gems given to us by the archangels, with not only the archangel rays, but the other rays that make them up at a 9th dimensional frequency. And we're going to work with, and then the unicorns come in and add their energy and light them up. And it really, really affects you. I've done meditations and worked with all of these, and each time I thought, wow, this is awesome. And so we're going to work with the ruby, the sapphire, the emerald, the diamond, and the pearl, which I hadn't thought of. But the pearl came in and had a lot of messages to give us. And so that's what's happening next Wednesday. Then I'm going to Canada, and I shall be working, as I said, in Banff, which will be so exciting. And then I'm going to do 2 Zooms together on the 19th and the 22nd of May. One, an in-depth connection with Archangel Raphael, and that's, of course, it's about abundance and healing at a deep, deep level and enlightenment. And then on the 20th, that's the 19th of May, the Sunday one, and then on the 22nd of May, I'm sorry it's so close together, but my friend Rosemary Stevenson is coming to stay with me for a couple of days before we go to the conference in the Raga conference in Germany, Austria, sorry. And what we're going to do is the whole Zoom is going to be a meditation where I introduce 10 and start connecting us with 10 archangels and their twin flames. And then Rosemary, who is very connected to angels and has an angelic voice, is going to sing them in so that their vibration goes right into you at a core level. I think it's going to be incredibly powerful. And that's on the Wednesday night, and that's £5.50. So I hope that's accessible to everybody. I think we've got some really, really interesting things coming up, and I'm looking forward very much to them. I think there's a missing date in here for a Facebook. So when I'm back from Canada, I'm doing one, I think, on the Archangel Rays. So lots to look forward to, and that's free, of course. Lots to look forward to, and I'm really thank you for joining us tonight and helping to connect with the Lemurian energy. Okay. Maggie, I think you're connecting with Archangel Jophiel. Oh, and Linda, you started to rock gently. You felt such love, yes. Yeah. Barbie, send lots of love to that willow tree. And thank you, everybody. Remember just to connect to every single person that's watching this Facebook Live. We all connect heart to heart and send that love to the trees, the animals, the whole of nature that our beautiful earth provides. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.